What's up guys, Chris here for Geekspire.com. You're watching part 6 of our 8-part series where we are running through the early gameplay and skill kits of the classes in TERA, an upcoming action MMO set to be released on May 1st of this year. So the class of the day is the Mystic, the second of two healer/support classes in TERA. The race I'm showing off here are the Ellen. They are almost like ancient, multiple hundred-year-old race, but they look like Lolita girls with ears and a tail. Considered pretty controversial. They haven't had a warm welcoming in the sort of North American server, as I can sort of understand, unless you're really familiar with Japanese and Korean sort of outlook on this sort of aspect of character. You're gonna probably have a few things to say about it, but I'm very familiar with it. It doesn't really bother me. It's definitely not a race I'm probably going to play when the game goes live, official release. But definitely, there's a lot of talk about this, and that's the story for another day. So let's get into some of the gameplay. So, as I said, the Mystic is a very indirect healer support class. Has that sort of role. When you start the game, we've got a sort of basic attack called Sharon Bolt. Very fast traveling ability, missile attack, very similar to the Fireball, the sorcerer, as well as the light attack that the priest had. But instead of an escape, we don't have an escape in the very beginning of the game. We have this. So this is called Aaron's Vitae, is the ability's name. It summons a little moat, which then you can use, and it adds a little heal over time buff. So this is how early game you're going to heal as your Mystic. You summon these little motes, or candy, as everyone on the server is calling them, and you just sort of pick them up. Party members can then pick them up and use them to heal themselves. So like I said, unlike with the priest, we have the sort of AoE circle, we have this, the summon candy ability. Not really sure how I feel about it. It doesn't cost a whole lot of mana, so that's not too bad. But as you can see though, from the basic healing aspects of the two support roles, Priest much more solid. This is, a secondary healer role, not meant to be focus fire. However, from what I've read and what I've heard, Mystic is considered really great support over in Korea. So maybe we'll see how it adapts in North America. Anyway, let's get into some more skill gameplay. First ability we have is the Metamorphic Blast. Yes, that the priest had, which is that frontal cone, dual attack ability. I really liked it on the priest. It's just as good on the Mystic. Very useful, low cooldown, low mana cost, very spammable. Great for clearing out all the babies. So clear some babies. There, we got lots of babies here. So we're sort of pull these guys. What's up? Bam, just sort of AoE him down. We got nothing. Look at that. Ooh, yeah, quest complete. Take on this Carriagon. Sort of blast him. Done. Got nothing. Very cool. So, as well as the sort of supporting healing role, the Mystic also has the ability to summon. So I'm going to summon my little guy here. This is called the Thrall of Protection. So over the course of the game, the Mystic gets a handful of these little thralls. Some of them do damage, some of them are for defensive tanking purposes. That's what this one is for. Works very similar to other pet mechanics in other MMOs. So we have commands that we use them, we control them with. We have command attack and command follow. Should be noted though that unlike in some other MMOs, the Thrall will kind of just stand around and look like an idiot unless you tell him to do something. So unless you send him in, he will do nothing. He'll just kind of be like, hey, what's up? I should also say though that if you get hit, so if someone hits you, then he'll jump in. Very kind of weird mechanic. Not really sure what to think about it. I think it would be nice if, as soon as you throw a Shram Bolt or whatever, the Thrall would just jump in and do whatever. So let's sort of show him off, send him in. There he goes. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but he's great for distracting. I will say that. So he's very good for sort of just kind of sitting around. Get him in there. There he goes. He's gonna go and wail on this Carriagon. Just overall distract him while I just spam on him with Sharon Bolt. But yeah. We also have our Mana Infusion, sort of the staple high mana regen ability on all our high mana using classes, so the Sorcerer and the Priest and the Mystic as well. Very useful, good if you run out of mana, definitely integral to keeping your mana up. Next ability we have, one of probably my favorite of the Mystic, is the Metamorphic Smite. So this is an AoE, sorry, not AoE, it's a frontal 3-meter circle slam ability. So I'm just going to use it right here. Bam, look at that. Very powerful, can crit for a lot of damage. Low cooldown, doesn't really cost a lot either. So very good AoE up front, frontal damage, I must say the Mystic has. So you just sort of alternate between your Metamorphic Smite and Blast. Very useful. We do get an escape, so our escape for the Mystic this time is a teleport, actually. So I'm going to use it here. Boom. Teleport or blink if you're more familiar with that sort of RPG nomenclature. I don't know why I'm mining for some reason. Just mine. Yay! But yeah, so we have a blink, teleport. Should note that it only goes in the direction that the camera is facing. So if you want to go that way, you have to aim that way. Or if you want to get away, you have to turn the camera around and then activate your ability. A little annoying, but still good that we have an escape. Good to know. Last ability, I'm going to show off here. Actually, no. That was kind of a waste. I need a big group to show it off properly. La-di-da. Just kill this guy real quickly. Look at that. Spam my abilities. Everybody dies. So last ability, which is another interesting sort of supporting ability, is called Corruption Ring. And Corruption Ring actually has 2 phases to it. This is what makes it really cool. So we're gonna find a big group. There we go, big group. So Corruption Ring, it starts up as a damage dealing ability. It deals 6 meters around you, and it's a channel, so you can hold it up and you drain health from your enemies. So I'm just going to pop it off right here, right in the fray of all these guys. So there. So I'm draining health constantly from these guys. At any point in time I can choose to stop, so I'll stop. The ability changes to Infusion Ring, and then what Infusion Ring does is I activate it again, and it sends out that same sort of ring, but restores mana to any ally within the vicinity. So, unlike the Priest, the Mystic has a nice little method, albeit kind of dangerous, because you gotta put yourself in the fray, way of restoring mana to your party, or even I guess to yourself if you really need to. Oh boy. But yeah, so once again, TERA has a very interesting method to its supporting roles. Like we saw with the Priest, we have that 10-meter circle of healing where you gotta sort of stick and move and know when to drop that heal. For the Mystic, we've got our little health candy that you gotta sort of spam so people can keep themselves healed. We've also got this Corruption/Infusion Ring ability, which does damage and then turns into a mana restorer, which is really crazy and really cool. Overall, though, I gotta say, Mystic not really my favorite class so far, especially for the early game. If you look at sort of skill sets, the skill set of the Mystic. If you're in the closed beta or when you get this game, you'll see that later on it's a lot more interesting. There's a lot of buffing abilities, debuffing abilities on enemies. You get multiple summons that all do different things. So it's a little bit more complex and a little bit more interesting in the late game, but in the early game, kind of weak. One of my least favorites so far. I do like the Metamorphic Smite AoE slam ability. That's really cool. But overall, just not really kicking in the early game. But as I said, later down the line, it looks a lot more promising. So, with that said, I'm going to end this video here. If you want more information on TERA, you can always go to TERA's official website of tera.amas.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like and comment on this video. And stay tuned for tomorrow for our next character class. See you then.